Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle there for another stream on the channel. Welcome to the late night whistle again. Tonight we're going to discuss Marti Cifuentes. That one looks very much closer, by the way. Also, we're going to discuss Sunderland chasing El Khannouss, Wilfred Ndidi's transfer update. We're going to discuss about Max Lowe as well from Sheffield Wednesday. So yeah, let's get into it. Evening, hope you're well, Voltaire, hope you're good, mate. Evening, Kuno. Evening, Manish. How are we? Hope you're good. Guys, as always, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed to the final whistle. Please get down and do so. It'll help me out massively if you can do that. And right, let's get on to the best bit of the business. And here we go. So, Marti Cifuentes, everyone questioned it. What is happening? What's the hold up? What is going on? So, Rob Dorset did speak this evening, and he says exclusively Leicester City agreed compensation with QPR. So, the compensation is now agreed. Marti Cifuentes is paying half of the 500k himself. So, Leicester are paying the other half of 250k. Now, only his visa outstanding, which couldn't be processed over the weekend. So, the only thing that's holding Leicester City up in this minute in time regarding bringing Marti Cifuentes in as a head coach is the visa. Football clubs can get that done bloody easy, can't they? Let's be fair. LCFC fan, hope you're well. Hit the like if you hate Forest. I mean, yeah, we'll all hit the like button, mate, if we hate Forest, that's for sure. Welby, how are we, mate? Hope you're well. Hello, Jack and all. Big up, man. So, yeah, Marti Cifuentes has took one step closer now to becoming Leicester City new head coach. The ex-QPR man is very much within hours now of actually signing for Leicester City when the visa is sorted and cleared. Andy King has said that he will be heading to Austria with the team on Wednesday when they go to their training camp. Sky Sports did say earlier on that Cifuentes, the club, are actually hoping to get this appointed by the time they actually go to Austria on Wednesday. So, yeah, it's a big update. Hopefully now he can start to get his stamp on this squad with the style of football, how he wants to go about things, the players that he wants to get rid of, players that he wants to bring in. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what will happen regarding Marti Cifuentes. And Leicester destroyed QPR under Cifuentes, though. Well, we didn't, mate. We bloody lost 2-1. We did destroy him under Gareth Ainsworth, by the way, when Harry Winks scored. Evening, Jack, the Marti Party. Yeah, the Marti Party. Anyone want a Smarty? A Smarty Party. But no, Marti Cifuentes, do you know what? Big up, man. Big up the respect for Marti Cifuentes, paying half of his actual compensation to actually come to Leicester City, by the way. It shows how much he wants to come and manage at Leicester City. And yeah, it's a fantastic bit of business for Leicester. Young up and coming. He does have a high ceiling, by the way, Marti Cifuentes. So, yeah, it's one that's took a bit of time. And Leicester City have now managed to sort everything out with Queen's Park Rangers, which obviously it's all the legal bits and everything like that. You know how it is. That was basically the hold-up at the weekend, what I was talking about. All the legal bits. So, yeah. It's one of them situations, but I'm actually glad we have now sorted it out, by the way. Manny's paying $250,000 to manage the mighty Leicester City back in fully. Jose levels of arrogance activate exactly. Slow at everything, visa outstanding. I mean, someone said bloody John Rudkin will drag this out further for another week. But he's honest. He's honestly, it's good to see that we actually are getting the manager in. Well, head coach is what they like to call it, don't they? These bloody football terms these days, head coaches, and hopefully now we can really start to get a feel of the team. But my mate, by the way, I've just seen on Twitter about a gambling company sponsoring Leicester City again. By the way, according to what I've speculated on Twitter, another gambling company. Do we ever learn? So apparently a betting company is going to be sponsoring Leicester's shirts again next season. So do we learn? Do we bother? Cash in on Mads and get Sargent, Elias Chair. I believe Wolfsburg and Burnley are after Josh Sargent, by the way. Mads will probably get about 25 mil, 30 mil for him. I think that would be an interesting one, to be fair, to see how that one sort of holds itself up. Also, I want to touch on one man, Wilfred Ndidi. This man's been linked with Everton. This man's been linked with Saudi Arabia. This guy's been linked with Man United. So, reported by Florian Plettenberg, Wilfred Ndidi has also received offers from Bundesliga clubs. A summer transfer is possible. And the 28-year-old defensive midfielder from Leicester City is believed to be a price valuation of 15 million euros, one to watch. So could indeed be off to the Bundesliga this summer transfer window, to be honest. There's going to be a lot of clubs after him, aren't they, with that reported £9 million release clause on that. I mean, Wilf, we'd take as much as we can for him, to be honest, innit? You know, it goes into getting other players in, strengthening our squad ahead of the Championship. Someone say Wilfred Ndidi's days are best behind him at Leicester City, but he did sign a 3-year deal when he did sign the contract, and it got confirmed when Enzo left. So, yeah, hopefully we can see what happens regarding Wilfred Ndidi, you know. Relegation clause in his contract, of course, and it's one that we can definitely get money for, to be fair. I mean, we've got young up-and-coming players coming through, haven't we, like Louis Page, Jaden Joseph, Will Alves, and other players as well coming through. But it'd be good to really utilise the youth this season, wouldn't it, to be fair? Jeremy Monga, Jake Evans, Ben Nelson, there's a few other, so yeah, it'd be good. Hopefully get rid of the high earners, change the wage strategy at the football club and move some people on. So it's obviously gone quiet on Connor Cody, it's gone quiet on Wout Fass, and yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's be fair to us, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts on everything we are discussing so far. Be sure to let us know. Shocking, we still don't know what the points deduction we're getting. This is it, Leo. This is the whole scenario of what is happening at Leicester City, and we don't know what the points deduction outcome is going to be. We don't know what the EFL is going to do to us. We know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. Maybe this drags out far into the season. Who knows? Because they'll probably look to get it done quite swiftly, to be fair. Leicester have the best training facility in the country. They probably have one of the best in Europe, to be fair. Watford fan, let's be fair. But yeah, it's an interesting subject to touch on, to be fair. One man that I want to touch on today, and it's more of another article from L'Equipe, by the way, in France. Bilal El Khannouss. So, Masato, Sunderland approach Bilal El Khannouss. So, according to reports in France, little by little, Sunderland continues its ambitious recruitment in the hope of remaining in the Premier League next season. English leaders, led by Florian Gasolfi, have approached Bilal El Khannouss, 21-year-old, in recent days. Under contract until 2028 with Leicester City, the Moroccan international does not want to play in the Championship, according to that. And I don't believe that for a fact. Unless he just stated it, then I don't believe it. There's always been a lot of thing in it. A lot of speculation regarding his contract clause and that, which is reportedly a thing, but I don't believe it is. Sunderland seem to be a step ahead, but some clubs have also taken information, including Monaco, in case of a departure of an expensive player like West Ham. West Ham are also reported to be interested, so are Monaco. Bilal El Khannouss, if I was Cifuentes, I'd have a conversation with him. I'd be very much say to him, you be the main player next season. We can give you the year. You'll be first team, starting everything. Just throw everything at it, if I'm honest. If it means selling Mads, Fast, Christiansen, Vestergaard, whoever, and keeping Bilal El Khannouss, it would make a statement to Leicester City's season, because that guy would be phenomenal in the Championship, by the way. And I would be all the way behind that, let's be fair. Yeah, Sunderland have had a cracking window so far, haven't they? I think they've signed Diarra in that. I think they're looking on bringing another keeper in as well. But yeah, Bilal El Khannouss, according to the Quipe, then Sunderland leading the race to sign him, and apparently they've contacted the player. Well, these media outlets say a lot of things and do a lot of things, don't they? Let's be fair. They like to attract the public to these different medias and what they're saying, and some of it could be a load of bollocks. It's all agent-driven stuff, which I think that's what it is, to try and get them a better move than that. You know what agents like. They like to earn a bit of P. Let's be fair. Sad to see. No disrespect. He's much better. Hello. How are we doing? Bilal El Khannouss, whether we sign him, I don't know. I'm inclined to think we won't. What I say is we have signed players many feel were much better than us. So just putting that out there. Big up Michael, by the way. Big up in the chat. I'd be disappointed if we weren't viewed as a step up personally in the Premier League, but I get we're not likely right now to stay up, and it'll be a challenge. Still, I'd be surprised if we sign him. Do you know what? This is the thing, Michael. Players are going to look at Sunderland. They are like Burnley, Leeds, and they're going to think, do I want to do it if there's a risk of relegation cost or not? But it's how much you... Some players actually come for the money, though, don't they? Let's be fair. They just see all these clubs paying out big amounts of money and that. And that's what it is, my mate, to be fair. Michael, if you do want to come on, mate, give me a chat about what your thoughts are on Bilal El Khannouss, then feel free. We will get you on. We could have the best training ground in League One. Wow. Michael, mate, I'm not even thinking that far ahead, mate. I don't even think we'll get relegated next season. That's me saying it is a fact. More than fair enough, Jack. Exactly. That's no disrespect to Sunderland, though. Sunderland obviously want to sign as many players as they can. They've been signing a lot of AFCON players, haven't they? So it's going to be difficult to, when January comes about in February now, you're going to be losing a lot of players. Players that you've actually spent a lot of money on. I remember Leicester, we lost a lot of players during the AFCON. When our players were playing in it, it's just like you have to have enough players in the Premier. You have to really have that strength in depth and all that. Bilal El Khannouss, would he like a move to the Stadium of Lies? It's a questionable one, to be fair, but I mean, Bilal, I'd love to keep him in the Championship. I think if we give him that extra year, I don't think he's Arsenal level. Let's be fair, Manchester City level. I think there's a lot more to develop in a player like Bilal. I think he is a fantastic player. He's young, developing quite well. I think Cifuentes could get the very much best out of him next season. I think he could very much thrive on Cifuentes football. And if Cifuentes can keep him, fantastic. But the only thing with our players is, Michael, is the case that wages is the problem. That's the big stumbling block. Your Fasses, your Vestergaard, your kind of Codys, your Dackers, and players like that, you know. So it's an interesting subject which we very much speak a lot on the channel about, and it's one that we discuss quite often, and where we go from there. But who knows? Who knows who we're going to get rid of? The manager will look in Austria to see who he wants to work with, who fits his formula, style of football, the approach, and who doesn't, to be fair. So, to be honest, big up to Cifuentes in paying his bloody compensation. Not many managers are going to do that, let's be fair. But it shows that he wants to come into work and manage and do well. Hi, Jack. How you doing? Tom, I'm all right, mate. How are you? Hope you're good, fella. Hope you're good. But yeah, there's a lot to sort of get your head around regarding Leicester City at the moment. There's still no shirt. But yeah. Do you reckon the announcement will be tomorrow, Jack? Do you know what, Joe? I reckon, mate, it will actually be sorted in due course. Now, I reckon it'll be tomorrow before they go to Austria. Joe, if you want to come on, mate, and have a chat. I don't know if you've been on blue tinted glasses. I know there's a Joe that goes on that one, but yeah, it is bloody warm, mate. I've got my bloody fan out. Let's be fair. If you can hear it, I'm sorry. I do apologise, but it is absolutely warm again today. And yeah, I've had to put the bloody fan on all day, to be fair. It cost a bloody lot of electric money, though. Let's be fair. But I reckon the announcement will be very imminent on Marti Cifuentes. I do think it's a good sort of approach by the club. And I think that he's very good young development in the youth. I think he can do quite a lot and get the best out of and utilise the resources that he's got. You know, I think we've got a far more better squad than QPR in quality and depth. I think his style of football would very much suit it. I know at QPR he had to be very pragmatic and change quite a lot of things, and he had to change his style of football. Wonder how fast a visa can be accepted. I think it can be accepted quite a bit, mate, to be fair. Joe, how are we, mate?
How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm all right. It's good to get you on, actually. I see you lot on blue tinted glasses, but talk to me
Yeah,
about
mate.
Cifuentes, mate.
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with obviously the fact that he's going to be appointed. Whenever that happens,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing. At the moment, we're all kind of just sitting here with our hands together, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for it to happen, aren't we? That's the problem.
All last season, mate. To be fair, twiddling the thumbs for no movement, but we
Yeah,
moved.
yeah. I'm just kind of losing patience with the club, mate, a little bit. You know, frustration. It's.
Steve, if you want to come and have a chat, mate, feel free to click in. What do you think Cifuentes can bring, Joe? How much are you behind this appointment?
Oh, massively so, especially when you're kind of reading all the sort of articles about it, everything that he'd done with QPR. I think we need to go back to Enzo's way of playing. I mean, I understand some reticence with Enzo's way of playing. However, I do think that that we need the high pressing. We need, Kingy said it a couple of days ago. Kind of the fitness levels are up. Lads are wanting to run through walls for the team, and we didn't have that last season. And I feel like Cifuentes will be able to bring that to the team. I think it's definitely a massive thing for the club in terms of just the commitment from the lads. So
yeah, I agree. I think this is what you want this season, isn't it, Joe? You know, Leicester
100%.
City are very uncertainty, aren't they, on the points deductions and everything like that. We've got a very good squad that can very much romp the championship, if I'm honest with you. You know, we've got a squad that's very much capable of actually getting promoted this season. You know, you look at the points deduction, if it's minus 12, minus 15, I think we'd still make playoffs and win the playoffs, to be fair, even though we've had a lot of playoff heartbreak. Which players do you think could actually do well under Cifuentes? I mentioned El Khannouss, who's obviously been linked with Sunderland and West Ham. Which other players do you think from below which could actually have a big influence?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to obviously say the obvious, and a player that I cannot wait to see in the Championship, which is obviously Jeremy Monga. Now, he genuinely. I mean, I've sat through all the streams through obviously the first game with Peterborough and obviously OH Leuven on Saturday, and he just looks different class. And then now I know it's a fitness exercise, but you can just when you watch a lot of football in the stadiums, out the stadiums, Jack. You know, I've watched a lot of your match going experiences on YouTube. And but you can just tell when you watch as much football as we do, you can just tell when a player's just got that little bit of class. He's got the ability to become world class. Now, I'm not saying he is, Far from it. What I'm saying is, you can see that he's got that in him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's a player that I think we've got to be very careful with, in terms of how we bed him into the squad. I think it was done very well by RVN at the end of the season. That's the one thing I will give him credit for, although I think that may have been pushed by the board. However, I'm just excited. I think my concern is, and this is a question for you, Jack.
Yeah, go on.
What's your opinion on the striker situation? Because at the moment we've only got one out and out forward, and let's be honest, there's a lot of fans that are on the Daka hype train, shall I say? Where do you think we need to go? Do we need to bring loans in? Do we need to bring somebody in that's going to be that number 9 to take over Jamie Vardy and become a solid number 9? Where do you think we go with that? Because that's the one position for me where I think we really need to invest in if we can.
Jamie Vardy was the main man for Leicester. It's one that I'd very much love to sit here and say, you know what, we'll sign the next Jamie Vardy, which it's not really realistic, is it? To be fair, you probably doesn't get a man of his calibre again in football. You know, someone who's worked from the top to get to where Jamie Vardy did and what he's achieved and what he's won in the game. So it's always difficult because Leicester's always been known in the last 13 years, Jamie Vardy. It's always been Jamie Vardy. You know, he's spent so much time at this football club, and he's spent so many years here and done so many great things. There's never been a striker that's actually come in and done what he's done. I mean, Iheanacho was good during COVID. I mean, he had that good spell anyway. He scored about 19 goals, which Jamie Vardy assisted him quite well. So that shows another side of Vardy's game. Daka's just not got. He's just not the cutting edges. He's not the finished article. A lot of managers have tried and have failed, and they haven't got the best out of him. And maybe it's confidence thing, but it's how you sort of push it. To be fair, but you look at Jordan Ayew. I think he would actually do well in the Championship next year as a squad player.
For sure.
I just think we need to sign somebody. Someone
I
good.
I think a key point as well is, and it's what I mean. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one to sort of dish out hate to players. I mean, Daka's definitely one that I've kind of tried my best with, and it's kind of gone. However, I do think that what people are forgetting is we're now not a Premier League club, so and the quality difference in teams are quite telling. So a lot of the players that you think will have failed at the club at the Premier League level, well, you know, Ayew, I think at Championship level will do something, and he's got that quality to score a few goals for us. And like I say, he's been a Premier League player now. He was at Crystal Palace before he was with us, so for him, a drop down probably doing some good coming towards the end of his career. But I do think that he could actually look like a bit of a world beater in the Championship because the level there is a massive drop off. Let's not kid ourselves about that.
Yeah, Joe. Actually, I want to touch on something with you actually because this has just been revealed via X. Leicester City's home shirt. We've been waiting to see what Leicester City's home shirt looks like. This is it. I've seen it on social media. Someone's just posted. I think it was Fossil. So big up Fossil and everyone else who's put the picture out. Another betting company, Joe. The club don't seem to learn the lesson. They did have BC game, which went absolutely tits up, to be honest. But we did earn £34 million from them, by the way, during that contract.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the kit, mate?
Well, for one, it's not. It doesn't look too inspiring. I've got to be honest with you. However, I kind of had this discussion on blue tinted glasses earlier today, in fact, and I said, and I agree, like I just don't see the point in going for these finance/betting companies because we like you said exactly hit the nail on the head. We don't seem to learn our lesson. I'm not a massive fan of it. However, Locks, who's obviously been on this channel, has also said that, you know, if they're willing to pay the most money, then that's what we've got to do, especially in our financial situation. So I think it's more out of necessity rather than want. Does that make sense? In terms of we've obviously got to go that way, but I don't know. What do you make to the kit? the actual kit itself, what do you make to it? Because that doesn't look too great to me. That's personally my opinion, but
I probably would have had a different sponsor, if I'm
yeah,
honest. I think another betting company, it's not really great, is it? I mean,
no, I
Everton
agree.
would have ended up getting done according to what was it the Telegraph reported about Everton and Leicester. Not the finest kit, but will grow on us. I mean, that's every year, isn't it, Joe? When you buy a Leicester City kit, people will sit there and say, I'm never buying that, I don't like it. And then when you actually go and view it in person, it's like, okay, well, this maybe might
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
be nice, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I've been with my missus now for about 7 years, and I do the same thing every season. I say I'm not getting the kit this year. I don't really like the look of it. And then as soon as it comes out, it's like, right, I might as well add that to my basket straight in.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy, and
yeah, no, for sure.
I like the. I mean, the you look at the championship part. You know, when we had that sort of V neck in the 23-24 season,
Yeah,
we took that part of it. It's like them Adidas sort of pin lines from the shoulders. They remind me of you. Do you remember the home checkered kit? What we had with
yes, I do.
Adidas?
I do. Yeah,
When Ricardo were in his prime and all that,
yeah. They had
they've took
yeah.
that part from it as well, which is
Did it?
interesting.
Did it have the? Did it have which was the kit that had like the golden shoulders? You know, the gold trim on the shoulders.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think which bloody year it was, but that kind of reminds me of the Alliance and Leicester shirt as well. You know, when the
yeah,
in 2006 we had
yeah.
the Alliance and Leicester shirt where it had like the pin stripes down it and stuff
Well,
like that.
they sponsored for us for a number of years, didn't they? I think it was Alliance of Leicester sponsored us in 2004 till 2006,
The
and
AJB
then
shirt back then, and they've gone bloody
we
bust since.
yeah we had LG before then. So
Yeah,
that was my first season going down to watch the Foxes. The LG shirt, you know, with Brian Dean up front.
yeah.
That was the first season, and that was the first kit that I bought. Got all kitted out. So yeah, no, that brings back some memories there, Jack. But yeah, I mean, the kit's not bad. I've bought, and we've had worse. So that's not too bad. Not too bad.
What's your favourite home shirt?
Favorite home shirt? It's got to be, you know, the one when we were in the championship a couple of seasons ago, actually.
Yeah,
The reason being is because it had the embroidery of like the faded foxes in the background.
yeah,
And I love that kit. I love that kit. I know you didn't ask me this, but the favorite away shirt as well
yeah.
has to be the Lions Leicester one, 2004, with the obviously with the light blue sash and the obviously just the simple black the
Mm.
black shirt there. That was my favourite. But yeah, the home kit definitely the one from a couple of seasons ago, just because of the faded foxes in the background. Brilliant.
Joe, what's your thoughts on Wilfred Ndidi? I mean, Bundesliga clubs are now looking at him. They're saying it's about 15 million euros is what's being reported and thrown in about, which works out to be about 11 million pounds. Should we put it in British money? Where do you think he could end up, Joe? He is going to be sold this summer, isn't he? But the only thing that's going to
Yeah.
sort of edge it is his wages.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it needs to be someone that can obviously afford him wage-wise. I think that's why we've struggled to get him off our books. I mean, no one came in for him when he was free last summer. But I think obviously Bundesliga would be a good move for him. I wouldn't be surprised if United came in for him last minute. I know there's been a few reports there. Just my thoughts on Ndidi in general. I think the annoying thing about him is his career has actually been hampered by injury a little bit. You know, he's had a couple of stints on the sidelines. When we first signed him, and kind of, you know, we forget what a player he was when he wasn't in the side. We really missed him, and he was a solid CDM, especially after. Obviously, we had the likes of a world-class player in Kante. He was kind of that replacement just after Mendy. But yeah, I mean, he's been unlucky. But again, if we were to keep him, hopefully he gets sold because we need the money. But if we were to keep him, there's no doubt he could do a job in the Championship like he did last time. But no, hopefully he goes. Just again, it's not because I particularly want him to go, but it's because we need the money and we need the finances. The club's in a situation where we need to sell him on.
Who would be particular midfield? So say you get rid of Samari. Ndidi. Where do you sort of look at it regarding like Cifuentes' team?
Look, it's weird because I mean, in terms of my tactical nous, it's not the best. But in terms of the players I'd like to see in there, obviously, I quite like Winks. I think Winks sort of sets up as that pivot. Kind of starts off attacks from sort of defence, midfield, and then he kind of can spring the ball out to your likes of Fatawu, Monga, obviously Mavididi. So he's key for me, and I think in the Championship he'll do a job as well. Obviously, his falling out with Van Nistelrooy wasn't great, but I still think he's a player. Do you know who I think is going to do well?
Go on.
Right. And I'm gonna upset a few people here, but I do think Oliver Skipp's going to do all right. I really do.
I knew that name were coming.
I really do, and the reason I think that is because he's obviously been in the Championship with Norwich. Again, I talked to you about it earlier. There's been a drop off in quality, and I'm not necessarily saying he's a Premier League level player, but I think he's a very, very good Championship player. And so I do see him getting in. But in terms of the attacking options we've got, you could potentially put Monga into the number 10. You've obviously got Will Alves. Obviously, it goes without saying if Bilal El Khannouss is still here, he goes into that number 10. But you can also see that El Khannouss can also play off either flank as well, can't he? Because I know Ruud played him there a couple of times as well. So, but I would opt for Monga in the number 10 if we were to lose Bilal. Just because I just think you really need to utilise this kid because he's just got abundance of talent. You can spot it a mile off. But again, it's about you can't play him every game because he's only 16. So
Joe, I want to touch on this man with you. Max Lowe, Sheffield Wednesday. Leicester amongst the clubs showing interest in Max Lowe. He's thought to be one of Sheffield Wednesday's available on a free transfer due to unpaid wages. Lowe has twice been promoted to the Premier League with Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest. He's also played for Derby as well, so he's been around the Midlands clubs quite a bit. Let's just be quite frank about that. Some would say we don't want Forest rejects or Derby rejects or whatever it is.
I believe, has Lowe also been at Swansea? I believe he's also been at Swansea. I might be wrong. On that one.
Let me have a look. So he's played for Derby, Shrewsbury, Aberdeen, Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, and Nottingham Forest. This guy gets around a bit, let's be fair.
Yeah, he does.
He's played for Sheffield United, played for Sheffield Wednesday, so he's played for two rival clubs. Then he's played for Derby and Forest. So
now he's got a completely set, hasn't he?
It's like going from Leicester to Coventry, innit, afterwards. It's like
for sure.
What's your thoughts on Max Lowe though as a defender?
In terms of the excitement the signing gives me. I mean, I always rate these on when I first see them and whether they excite me in terms of, does it get me up off my seat? And I'm a wheelchair user, so I need some excitement to get off my seat. But I realistically, mate, I'm not blown away by it. What's your thoughts? Because it's not something that sticks out to me. I only saw the reports today that we were looking at him. But what do you think? I mean, does it excite you?
I'm not sure, to be fair. I'm trying to have a look at his age. So he's 28 years old. He's a left back. I mean, we've got quite a few left backs, haven't we, James?
This is the thing.
Victor Christensen's a left back. Luke Thomas is a left back. Koulibaly can play left back as well. Ricardo Pereira can switch either side of the flanks, to be fair. I think we're good enough in defence. You've got Ben Nelson. You've got a few others who can go in. Harry Suter, another one. Caleb Akoli. We've got enough defensive nous to get us through the Championship this year. We just can't keep adding for the sake of it. I think the main objective for Leicester this season is very much a striker because that's what we're crying out for. And Jamie Vardy will always be hard to replace. Of course he will, because what he was and who he'd become and what, but it's time for somebody to come in as a number 9 who can very much now make a name for themselves and prove why they should be number 9. Because there's no pressure now, are they, on these players who come in? They're not going to say, oh, but I'm sat behind Jamie Vardy. oh, I'm not going to get much gains out. They can actually come in and think, you know what, that number 9 spot's mine. So it shows they can actually do that. But defensive options, we need to go for players who's like 25 and younger. We just can't keep
Yeah,
these bloody players who's on like
yeah.
substantial
I
amount of
think
wages.
I think you look at Cifuentes as well. I think he tends to go opt for the younger signings, doesn't he?
Yeah.
If you look at his track record at QPR, he really did make that squad younger across the signings. So I don't really think signing a 28-year-old left back is going to be something that's in his remit, especially with the options that we've got in defence and kind of the defence on either side, and then your centre backs as well. We have got an abundance of options. Defence isn't something that I'm particularly worried about. Even if you were to sell a few players there, I think we have got options. So it's just like I say, it doesn't really excite me, but at the moment, I don't think we're going to see any new signings through or out the door until Cifuentes officially comes in. You'll be interested to find out as soon as he comes in and makes a couple of decisions. I think we could see it in a couple of days, maybe in the next week. Players leaving, players coming in, because obviously the manager's got to make those calls, and that's why it's so pivotal that we should have got a manager in earlier, in my opinion, because we're now kind of scrambling a little bit.
Well, Jamie Vardy's about what, 38? Is it? Hi,
Yeah.
all. Is that kit confirmed? It is. Well, it will be. It's done the rounds in the last hour, but yeah. Who do you sort of see is sellable, Joe? Obviously, I haven't spoke to you about it, but
Yeah,
who's
just
sellable
want
one?
to say, Jack, I've got to go after this question if that's all right,
Yeah,
mate.
go on. That's fine.
No, so I'll answer this question and then I'll get myself off. But sellable wise, I think we're looking at the problem is we haven't got very many sellable assets, and the players that are sellable assets you don't want to sell. So obviously your obvious ones, Mads Hermansen, don't see him staying at the club. Depends on who comes in for him, and it's got to be the right price. I think we'll do well because we've fallen down to the Championship. I think we'll do well to get 25-30 million for him.
Yeah.
Purely because of the drop of league. I think you'd be well within your rights to ask for 45-50 if we were still in the Premier League. However, obviously with that not being, that takes a knock. Obviously with the reports with the Sunderland connection today, obviously with Bilal, I can see it all starting to move now. The train's moving, they're coming in for the players. So I really can't see Bilal staying. I just hope that we make some sort of profit on him from the 20-25 million that we spent on him last summer. Because even if you break even, it's not money you've lost, but you've not gained anything. And players that I want to see go, well, FaZe, I think he is just an arrogant. He's got the ability of David Brent and the arrogance of, well, David Brent. Do you know what I mean? The arrogance on the kid is not great. And then there's probably a few players as well that I move on that not necessarily I dislike, but have been here for a long time. So yeah, I mean, just before I go, who do you want to move on? Who do you want to move on, and who do you think will?
I've got bloody Santa's Christmas list when you asked me about that, mate. Let's be fair. Christiansen, Faz, Vestergaard, Connor Cody, Patson Daka's on the bloody list. Samari, Wilfred Ndidi we can get money for. I think Hermansen will definitely get money for, to be fair. I think Stolasic will be number 1 next season.
And he'll be a good Championship keeper as well.
Yeah, he's proven that he can do it. I'd keep Ricardo, keep James Justin. I think they've only got a year left on the contract, haven't they? So I think they'll be good for his next season because they've done it in the Championship. But overall, I think we've got a strong squad. I think Suter, I'd keep him personally for a squad player because we're going to be playing like 46 games next season, aren't we, in Championship? So we need to rotate them centre-backs quite resolutely. So, yeah. Thanks for coming on, though, Joe, mate. I know you've got to go. Appreciate it as always, mate.
Any time you want me on, mate, or there's an opportunity, I'd always love to come on, mate. I love your channel. I love everything you do. So you just keep doing what you're doing, mate. It's great stuff.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers. Bye.
you want to move players on who know how to win the championship. I'm not being funny, but look, we've got to move these high earners on planet Earth. Let's be honest. That's the main key aspect of it. To be fair, the wages is what's got us in this situation. We're paying a lot of wages out to some players, who are only here just picking up a paycheck. And yeah, Fass is one that's been very wanting to move for a while. It very much looked like in the media and that, with like Lazio being linked and that. Vestergaard falling out with different managers and that. It's not really great, is it, to be honest, when you read things like that? But yeah, it's an interesting one. But thoughts on the shirt? I mean, it has been leaked. There it is. Leicester City's home shirt, another bloody gambling sponsor. Do we ever learn? No. But yeah, it looks all right. Quite nice pinch stripes going down here. A bit of gold, bit of like a V-neck type of thing around it. But yeah, it's all right. The question is it going to go up this season? Because I think it was like 70 quid last season, wasn't it? So, Jesus. But no. Thanks for watching as always. Take care, Paul. All the best to you in the Premier League, mate. And I'll catch you again soon at the final whistle. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Thanks for watching the late night whistle. And hopefully we will imminently get the announcement of Marti Cifuentes as new Leicester City head coach. But take care and I'll see you soon.